Author's note. No flames bliss, there's no point. If you didn't like my story, didn't read it. It's as simple as that. By the way, all Tatiana is not Marisu because she is not perfect and not everyone in the story likes her. She has problems and she has flaws and she's unhappy. Would you like her life? No, I wouldn't. It's totally tragic and horrible. You flamers aren't even making sense one. Chapter 4, La Push. I sat quietly on La Push Beach apart from the party that was going on beside me. Mike Newton was following me around like a pulpy, and he was so boring. None of the things he had to say were interesting, but I was nice to him because he wasn't a bad guy. My thoughts were elsewhere. I couldn't stop thinking about the events of last night when Uncle Larry had raped me, and I had my scary vision in the forest, and a tall, pale guy in my mind had killed me, his daughter. I didn't understand any of it. I felt so awful that I had been wrapped by that hideous, pervy sicko when I had been saving myself for the right guy and for marriage, and my virginity was torn from my grasp by that twisted guy. It was so cruel and unfair, it made me want to cry. OMG, Mike, what are you doing talking to her? I turned round and saw 4 nasty faces leering at us. It was the cheerleaders I had seen in the cafeteria, and one of them was the girl dating Udard Cullen, the brown hair girl who was standing at the back looking moody but not saying anything. Stop being mean, Jessica, Mike said angrily. Tia's awesome, and if you can't see that, it's just you being blind and shallow and stupid like all your ways are. Yeah, I mean, look at her clothes. She looks like a stupid goth biatch with a slutty top and short skirt and fishnets. Is she a rat hooker or what? Jessica screamed. She was relay ugly when she shouted, even though she was technology hot chick, and she was dressed in a skimpy pink clothes. So, shit. You know what, Jess? You and your friends are so shallow, and you are the real slut. You and Bella and Angela and Lauren maybe wear short skirts and low-cut tops and stuff, but that doesn't make you beautiful. It's what's underneath that counts, Mike shouted. Yeah, speaking of which, said a sly blonde girl in the gang who was called Lauren, pointing at me. What's with her breasts? They are huge. I bet they are fake. She laughed, and her friends all laughed too, even Bella and Angela, who had been quiet until then. I got up and pushed past them and ran away into the darkness. I could hear them all laughing at me, and I felt so embarrassed. I was relay sensitive about the waist. I looked and hated the fact that it made all the girls hate me, and all guys stare at me. I would have given anything to be ugly or just inviable. I wasn't stuck, and I didn't think I was better than anyone else because of how I looked. I just wanted people to treat me like a normal person. I couldn't help being slim and blonde with relay big boobs. It wasn't my fault. I hadn't done anything wrong. Are you okay? Said someone from beside me. Who are you? I asked. 3 really pretty goth girls were standing there, smiled at me, and I smiled back. We're Tiffany, Abigail, and Rochelle, they said, smiling. You seem cool. Do you want to be our friends? Yeah, of course. I'm just a bit melancholy because those horrible cheerleaders were being mean jerks and saying my boobs were fake, I said. Oh my god, you mean Jessica and Bella's gang? They hate us too because we don't care what they think, said Tiffany. They're just jealous because you're the prettiest girl in school, and they're all playing next to you. But we don't care about stuff like that. We only care about people's personalities. Cool, I said, and we talked for hours. I talked to Tiffany, Rochelle, and Abigail for hours, and they were so cool. I never had proper friends before who didn't care what I looked like or where I came from. They just liked me for me.
She likes me
and I liked them because they were uber cool and had loads of stuff in common. But after a while, they all went home, and I stayed on the beach. It was getting late, but I didn't want to go home to Uncle Larry in case he raped me on his car again. Suddenly, I heard a voice from behind me. "Well, Tia, thou seem to be causing quite a stir at school." His voice was smooth and sexoy, and from another time. "Edward." "What do you mean?" I demanded. "Basically, every gay at school wants to have sex with me, and every girl wants to eat thee alive for it. How's that for causing a stir, my lady?" He smiled and kissed my neck. "Shut up, jerk. By the way, I met your girlfriend before. Bella, I think her name is. I don't like her or anything, but how the hell can you cheat on her like that and kiss me how you did? It's sick. You're a cheating bastard, and I should tell everyone. Tiffany told me that you and Bella are like the school's golden couple or something. What would happen if I told Pipple how you had acted in that corridor with me?" "OMG, sweet lady, thou must not tell anyone," he screamed. "It was a moment of madness, that's all. I'm so sorry for what happened. I hope thine can forgive me. But I've promised myself to Bella, and that's just how it is, no matter how much thou interests me." "Fine, then stay away from me," I shouted as I left to go home, but he followed me and grabbed me and pushed me down on the grind. I was burning with anger and fury, but I wanted him so deftly. I didn't even try to resist him. He knew how much I wanted him, and it drove me mad. He put his hands inside my panties, and I gasped. I was suddenly desperate to sex him, and I tore my clothes off, and I was in my underwear. I took off my bra and showed him my naked, heaving beasts. "Have sex with me now, Edward," I whispered. "I can't," he said, although his body was on top of mine and his fingers touched my nipples. "Please, I'm begging you," I said, hating myself for being such a dirty whore, but unable to control my burning desire. "No!" he shouted and ran away crying. I put my clothes back on slowly, feeling so ashamed and embarrassed. I could hardly move. I couldn't believe I had begged him to do sex on me, and even worse, he had said no. I went home and Uncle Larry made me cook his dinner and suck his cock while he ate his food, and then he raped me and hit me with a shoe all night.
Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
And I didn't even complain because I felt like I deserved it for being such a horrible slut, even though it made me want to die inside. Uncle Larry finally left me alone, and I thought about killing myself as I cried and cried as I fell slowly into dreamless sleep. Oh.